What it do, YouTube? It's your boy JR3, and I'm back with another video. Today we have the official She-Hulk Season 1, Episode 1 review. Just to go ahead and start on off, we immediately start with a fourth wall break. Jean breaks the fourth wall and she talks to us. She asks us a question, but as the camera pans back, you see that she's in her office with her paralegal and the other lawyer that's in there. You know, they're working on the case, they're working on their closing arguments, you know, to make sure that everything lands the way it's supposed to. Well, before she heads back, she comes back in with another fourth wall break, and she tells us, you know, that she is a Hulk. She know we won't be able to focus until she explains that. So we go in flashback. Few months ago, she was on the road with Bruce, and of course, if you all have seen that first clip that was floating around, you know, she was on the road with Bruce. They're in the car. They're basically on the subject of Captain America being a virgin. Well, you know, while they're on the trip or whatever, we learned that Bruce is back in human form thanks to an inhibitor that he built. So, you know, he's got this little inhibitor on his wrist or whatever. And so, you know, he's back in human form. His arm is basically healing now. And then that's when, out of nowhere, we see that spaceship come out. You know, it looked like it's from Sakaar, you know, from Thor Ragnarok. You know, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're coming back, you know, hunting for Bruce. You know, not for Bruce, but, you know, for the Hulk, because they didn't know, you know, they're looking for, you know, the champion. So, yeah. So then that's what has them swerve off the road. They get in a little accident. You know, that's when she drags Bruce out. They're both bleeding. That's when the blood transfusion happens. You know, her and Bruce's blood, they mix. And then, you know, once their blood mix, she automatically transforms into She-Hulk. We don't get to see her, but we see like the reflection in the car or whatever before she takes off. After she takes off, the screen goes black. And apparently she went to sleep that night and she wakes up. She's outside of a bar. Well, she goes to the bar. She's trying to get cleaned up. She needs to find a phone so she can call Bruce. Some ladies, you know, they come in the bathroom, they help her. Well, then when she leaves out, she starts getting, you know, hollered at by some of these guys on the outside who claiming, you know, they just friendly, just trying to, you know, just trying to help, just trying to holler or whatever. Then that's when she kind of gets mad. She kind of hulks out. Before she attacks, she gets tackled by Hulk. Because, you know, now that Bruce they got in the accident, his inhibitor is damaged, he's back to Hulk, which in Endgame, we was calling him Professor Hulk, but they call it Smart Hulk now. So he's back to Smart Hulk. So then, after she gets tackled, she wakes up in Mexico. You know, and then she hears, you know, the music playing and stuff. She follows the sound of the music down to a lab that Tony had built for Bruce. And that's where Bruce had been, you know, kind of just off in Mexico, you know, on the sunny beach, drinking drinks in his lab, doing his thing. And then that's when he basically explains, you know, she can't go back to her regular life because she's mixed with his blood and, you know, she's got a dangerous amount of gamma radiation in her now. And that's what she starts, you know, saying, well, build me an inhibitor, you know, like you did. He was like, it's not that simple. So now he's trying to teach her, you know, how to use, basically how to be a Hulk, how to use her powers or whatever. She doesn't want to hear all that. She's trying to get back. So then there's when, you know, the next day, they have their little argument or whatever. And then the next day, she's like, okay, fine, you know, we can start training. You can teach me how to use, you know, my powers or whatever. You know, because before that, you know, you get the scene that you see in the trailer where he put her, you know, inside he had her inside the little chamber, you know, and he was trying to see what makes her transform. He had the razor blades come out. She ends up transforming and stopped that. Then that's when she breaks out. And then when she breaks out, he's looking at, like, you know, trying to calm her down. Sort of how Natasha did him in Age of Ultron. And then she's like, you know, why are you talking to me like that? Well, come to find out, you know, Bruce had to wrestle for 10 years between Bruce and the Hulk. She doesn't have to wrestle at all. It's just, she's still herself, even though she's in Hulk form. So then, you know, that's when the next day they started their training. And, you know, he automatically wakes her up with the air horn, you know, just basically She-Hulk's out. And then, you know, so he's out there, they're tossing rocks. It's a whole little training montage. They go through all that. She's really not taking anything seriously, and it's almost like she's better at everything, except, you know, certain things that I'm gonna get to. But, you know, it's almost like she's better at everything. So then that's basically, you know, she's not taking anything seriously, and she's like, you know, I can do this, you know, I know how to keep my anger down and all that. So, you know, I could just leave. And Bruce is like, why aren't you listening to somebody that has been through this before? Well, then that breaks off into a fight. It's She-Hulk versus Hulk. And, you know, they're fighting it out and stuff. We finally get to see, for the first time in the MCU since the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton, we finally get to see the thunderclap. And, you know, Bruce, he thunderclaps her. You know, she goes a bit good distance. She doesn't go that far. Well, then she tries to use it. First time she didn't get it, and then it's like she automatically picks it up. And it was more like, you know, just waves of it when she did it. So, you know, she, of course, they wrestle and stuff, you know, in the fight. And I was like, you know, I was wondering, because I was like, who's going to win this fight? Are they going to have her win it, or are they going to have Bruce win it? Well, it comes to, you know, a halt while they're still wrestling and rolling around or whatever, tearing everything up. They end up tearing up the bar that Bruce and Tony had built. So they rebuild that, and then, you know, Bruce, he tells her, you know, if you want to go back to your life as a lawyer, I respect it. And then that's when we get another fourth wall break. And she turns to the camera, she's like, you know, he doesn't mean that. And then that's when Bruce hears her and he looks at her. And then they look away. Well, then, you know, she's headed back. And that's when she heads back to, you know, her home or whatever. And that's when it goes back to where the opening scene was. She's back in her office. And now she's going out to give her closing statement. Well, when she leaves out to give her closing statement, that's when Titania, she busts through the courtroom. She busted through the wall. And it was sort of kind of weird, because it's like, why are you there? And it's like, you know, what purpose did you serve for being here? Like, why did you just decide to break into this courtroom? Well, she breaks into the courtroom, you know, and her paralegal, Nikki, she's telling her, you know, now will be a good time to Hulk out. And so Jean, you know, she transforms into She-Hulk, you know, freaking most people out in the courtroom. She throws a desk at Titania. Titania jump kicks at her, literally misses the kick. She gets hit by She-Hulk, punched in the next week, knocked unconscious against the wall. And then basically she transforms back, Jean transforms back into herself, cleans herself up, and she's like, I'm ready to get my closing statement. And that's where the show ends. And then we get an end credit scene of course, them, Jean and Bruce in Mexico. They done fixed the bar, and basically they're just having a night of drinking, because we learned in the episode earlier that the Hulk, their bodies, what's the word I'm looking for? The Hulk bodies, they can handle a lot of alcohol, basically. And so the Hulk's bodies, they metabolate alcohol faster than normal people, so they can drink just loads of alcohol, not get a hangover, nothing like that. So then, you know, they're sitting there, and Jean is basically faking like she's drunk, and you know, like the drunk talk, like the whole truth be coming out and stuff. So then basically she's talking, and she's like, you know, Captain America, you know, did so much for the country, and he, you know, basically he died a virgin. Like, he shouldn't have had to die a virgin. Bruce has had enough. So Bruce basically tells her, you know, he didn't die a virgin. He lost his virginity on, you know, on the tour and all that. And then that's when she was like, you know, she knew, and he was like, you're not drunk. And then she was like, Captain America, and then that's when, you know, it cuts off. So then, yeah, that was the first episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, I have seen the mixed reviews online. I seen some reviews about the CGI and all that. Now, Bruce CGI looks good. There were some little shots of Jen that did seem a little off, but other than that, the CGI looks good to me for She-Hulk and Bruce as well. I have seen people saying, like it's woke or whatever, or they're pushing somewhat sort of an agenda or whatever. I understand, it's about She-Hulk, so it's gonna be, empowering women and everything. I don't have a problem, with the show. Like, I don't see where, I know it's always gonna be people that hate on everything, but I don't see where most of the hate is coming from, because I thoroughly enjoyed the show. So, but yeah, that was my first review for the first episode. I'm gonna keep doing reviews every time a new episode comes out, and then once we complete the series, I'll get my whole series review. So yeah, if you enjoyed this review, be sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time, it's your boy JR3, and I holla at you.